guys. Welcome back to our Quest AI series, where we discuss all AI topics on whether getting started or expanding on projects. With me, I have Johann, our chief data scientist, here to answer some recent questions. Hey, Johann, how's it going?
Hey, Jess, it's going well. I hope you had a good St. Patrick's weekend.
I did. How was yours?
It was good. I actually did they didn't call it car bombs anymore. I can't remember what's the right word, but I had one of those with a 0 alcohol Guinness.
And how was that? Taste the same?
Exactly the
same. Same amount of calories too?
Probably, yes.
Probably. All right. All right, let's get started here. So we have a couple questions this week. The first one is from one of our partners, Bill. He actually met with one of his clients who works in the pool service industry, and they were asking about automation in customer service. So how would they use AI, and what's your take on that?
Okay, so automation for customer service is probably one of the, I would say, one of the top 4 use cases we get with LLMs, with large language models. And the reason is that, everybody's trying to deliver faster, more accurate, and more automated type of customer service. However, there's a counter to that as well, which I recently, discussed with another type of industry, which is the restaurant industry. They do not want a robot or an AI or chatbot or anything replacing their customer service. Even when they do their Yelp reviews and they do responses, they want to have that, human touch to it. So it's interesting. I think every industry is going to determine if they want to automate that front end facing portion of it or not. But let's start from the back end, because I think that's pretty common across all customer service, that you can give the right information and also guidance as to how to address the customer. It could be that you're addressing them through a chatbot that's automated online, or it could just be that you have a screen in front of a customer service rep and you show them, here's like the recommended responses for the question you just got. A couple of years ago, we actually implemented a similar implementation for a bank, a local bank here in South Florida, and they wanted their customer service representatives to still talk to their clients online. But what we did is we gave them almost like a decision tree, where if the customer said something, they have 2 or 3 responses they can go with. So I think in the case of a pool company, customer service, just automating it so it's 24/7, so that people can ask questions, when can I expect my next appointment? If they have a problem and they can list it, it could immediately go into a queue, so that whenever there's a human available, they can look at the queue, but the client gets a response immediately, feeling that they've been acknowledged. And then also, I would say, taking it a little further on the analytics side, maybe even identifying potential issues. Like, for instance, if you're starting to see a trend where a lot of customers are complaining about, maybe the pools aren't being cleaned in a certain route, that might be something for you to address. So there's many use cases around, just customer service. It doesn't all have to be where you're trying to introduce a chatbot. A lot of it could just be insights, could just be extracting information that you then, as a business owner or, somebody in the company, can go and act on. So that would be my recommendation.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Yep.
We have another one here from LinkedIn. They actually messaged me saying, "Good afternoon, Jessica. I was wondering if you or Johann can discuss what the right size is for companies to seriously consider AI in their business." So we are a 52-person company with X amount in revenue in 2023. And I think there's an opportunity for us to grow beyond our competition using AI. But I know nothing about AI, and I don't want to chase down this path if it doesn't make sense. I guess what I'm asking is there a minimum size a company should be before investing in AI-based solutions?
Short answer is no. I think every company, even if you're an individual, should invest time and effort in at least using AI tools to make yourself more productive. One example would be using ChatGPT to help with emails, letters, even analyzing when you have to, review a contract, or helping you create a proposal. So I think from the individual all the way to big corporations, everybody can benefit. Now, a difference between an individual and a corporation is how much money they have available. So let's talk about that. If you're looking at custom AI solutions, it's going to cost a good amount of money. And what I mean with that is you're looking at least to get value, tens of thousands of dollars. If you're looking at investing in something that's off the shelf, like for instance, recently Microsoft came out with Copilot, and it's basically ChatGPT integrated with all the Office products. That is a really good investment for a larger organization that's got the money to do that. I would still, and I'm actually, I consult on that, but I would still measure if there's a positive or negative effect on the productivity for a company introducing that kind of technology. Now, their question is very specifically, you said there are about 52 people?
Yes.
All right. So for a company that's about 52 people, I would say where they want to look at finding value with AI is to start very small, depending on their revenue. I know they mentioned the revenue to you, but you don't want to disclose that. Perfectly fine. I would say if they allocate a portion of their budget for the year, let's say 1% or 2% of their total revenue, and just test out maybe one or two use cases that will make them much more either advanced, appealing, effective, whatever the measure might be against their competitors. That is how I would start. Start small, be very focused, and make sure that there's some kind of value, some ROI attached to whatever that initial project is going to be like.
Okay, great. And then last one, this was actually a conversation that you and I met with someone who was in the restaurant industry. So I actually came across an article and I found a couple of facts that I pulled from this article. So I just want to read these off to you and give me your opinion on this. So 54% of operators think AI will positively impact restaurants. Less than 1/3 use AI in their operations currently. 71.6% of operators plan to adopt AI soon. Nearly 94% say that AI will be necessary to stay competitive. And despite fears of lack of human touch, 46% think that AI can improve the guest experience.
So this ties in exactly to what we just discussed with what's the right size, right? So the restaurateur we spoke to, I think he owns maybe 7 or 8 locations.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
So he's at the point where he can afford to do a little bit of R&D and invest money in tools and maybe even some custom analytics to determine, where can he go next with his business. If you're just starting out, if you're just a brand new restaurant, I would look at all the tools you can get off the shelf. Like for instance, Yelp, they have, and also OpenTable, they have some business tools that once you subscribe to the restaurant, you can actually get access to the analytics. The work is going to be on you to go and analyze the analytics and make decisions from that. Also, Toast is a credit card processing system that it gives you a lot of insights about the type of clients and their behaviors and things like that. However, a lot of manual analysis is going to have to go into that. And perhaps it's a good thing if you're just starting your first restaurant, you get familiar with the business and you really get to look at the numbers. To the person we spoke to last week, I would say a lot of these measures, if you look at it, like 71.6% of operators plan to adopt AI soon. That's a lot. That's more than 2/3 of all restaurants are thinking about using AI in some capacity. Now, I'll give you an example. One thing that I like about Google is when I search for a restaurant and I get the results, I can right there, for the most part, I can schedule or book a table. I don't have to go open up another app or anything. And Google implemented, I think about 2 or 3 years ago, an automated voice system where they call up the restaurant and it's a robot speaking, but it sounds like a human, and they'll make a reservation for you. That to me is a great use of AI. Now, that's on Google's side. That's not on the restaurateur's side. But there's a lot of small little cases like that where you can optimize, just how you track inventory, how you track your clients. Now, there's another restaurant chain around here, sports bar chain. And there's the MVP program that's great. It tracks, points and birthdays, and every time you come in, you get a 2-for-1, those kind of deals. And it's awesome because the data that they capture is tremendous. It gives you so much insights. Like, for instance, when it's football season, what kind of inserts do you want to have in the menu to highlight, for instance, steak and chips or steak and French fries, as they would say in the States. So those are things where I think, optimizing your menu, optimizing the schedule for your staff, optimizing when you want to have more staff or less staff based on seasonality, maybe even combining some of your product. If you know that we serve 100 meatballs an evening and I can centralize making those meatballs someplace, that is something you only know if you start tracking the data, right? So there's a lot of things that you can do around analytics, making it predictive, making it something that's actionable, but also optimizing the whole process, being able to track, for instance, alcohol is a pretty big, revenue driver. Now, that's probably also a place where you're going to have a lot of loss because people are going to over pour, they're going to give away some shots, things like that. So as an owner, you probably want to manage that pretty closely. How do you do that? So there are systems that I know of that will actually track, like if you have beer taps, for instance, it will track when your beer tap is getting to a certain level, and you can set it up to automatically order or reorder from the distributor. So that industry has a lot of different options. It's really up to you to determine where the option is going to benefit you. I always start with what's the problem, and then let's go find a solution. Very often it's the other way around. We get marketed and we're being told you need this, to be productive and effective. I don't really believe in that, unless it's something that I know is a problem in my business. It's good if somebody tells me it's a problem, but as an owner, I'm going to have to validate that first before I implement the solution.
Great.
All right.
I think that's all we have for this week.
Thank you, Jace.
Have a good one.